Hi everyone. This is a recording for the assessment assignment in Chapter 3. So what I have is the rubric here, your assignment sheet, and we're going to go through each of these items, and it'll be divided into a couple movies. So the first thing that we have is we downloaded the instructions and the access file. So I have those. So here we're saying create a query based on transaction and products that will calculate the total revenue earned for each product type. Okay. Add product type in a calculated field called revenue to the query design grid. The revenue field should multiply quantity and unit price. All right, so let's see if we can get that done. Okay, so first thing we need to do is create our query in Design View. And the two tables that we need based on the instructions are transaction and products. Okay, so we can close that up. I always like to open my boxes up and bring my grid up just so they're right next to each other. So if I take a look at the instruction, it says group by product type, so I'm going to bring product type in there. And then I want to create a formula. So I'm going to do my zoom. I always like to make mine bigger. And if we look at the instructions, it says the revenue field should multiply quantity times unit price. So that's pretty simple here. Revenue, spell it right. And then we're going to take quantity times unit price. Alright, so if I run that, of course, I get a record for each, I get a line for each record, and that's not what I want because we want the instructions say to calculate total revenue earned for each product type. So when we have that kind of wording, we know we have to do the aggregate function, so we have to put that total row in. We're going to group by product type because that's what the instructions say. And then in revenue, we're going to do a sum. So if I run that, I get a revenue for each product type, and I believe that's what I want. So let's take a look at the instructions and just verify that we did it. Okay, create a query. All right, we did that. Calculated field, quantity times unit price. Pretty sure that's what I did. You know what? Let me just verify that's what I did. Yep, quantity times unit price. Group the results by product type. I have it grouped by. And sum the revenue calculation. Got that right there. Group the result. Format the revenue as currency, which mine automatically did because of the underlying. But I didn't do this. Sort the results in descending order by revenue. So here we're going to come here. Oops. We're going to sort in descending order. And just if your revenue did not come out as currency, you would just simply go up to property sheet, format. I might as well put it in there so I don't get caught. Currency, and descending order looks good. So now we need to name the query revenue by product type. So we're going to save that as QRY revenue by product type, and we're good. All right, so I think that one's done. So let's look at what our next one is. So we have up through 3. Okay, create a query based on table customer and table transaction that will display first name, last name, street address, city, state, zip, and phone for any resort member who has made a purchase at the Pro Shop during the fourth quarter of 2018. So I know that's why I have to put this transaction table in, because I could get all the information I need from the customer table, but I have to join it with the transaction so that I can limit what records I get to those who did a purchase in the fourth quarter of 18. Be sure that each customer is listed only once. All right, so that's going to be our little challenge there. So that's cool. So we're going to name this query fourth quarter customers. And let's see, ascending by last name. All right, so we can do that. So we're going to begin our query by creating a query in Design View. We're going to pull transaction and customers, or customer transaction, whichever you want. I'm going to open my tables up so I can see everything. Bring my grid up, and I'm going to start putting in based on the instructions. So first name, last name, street address, city, state, zip, phone, and then we want to do transaction date. So right now we're going to get every customer who made a transaction. Doesn't matter what date the transaction, but if we remember what our instructions say, we have to limit it to the fourth quarter of 2018, right? Limit it to fourth quarter of 2018, and each customer should only be in there one time. Okay, so I need to put my total row in there because I want to group by all of these so that they're only going to be once. But down here in the transaction date, that's where I'm going to put the where clause. Remember, when we put the where clause, we don't see this in the answer, but we limit what rows we see when we use the where clause when we're doing aggregate. So where, and I'm going to do between 10/1/2018 and 12/31/2018, because that would be the fourth quarter of 2018. So now if I run it, I get only those customers that purchased something in the fourth quarter, but I only see them once, and that's because I did that aggregate, right? So let's do this. Whoops. Let's make sure we have all of these correct. Then I missed the sort by. So sort in ascending order by last name. So if I come over here, ascending on last name, and then customer only listed once, did that, sort. Okay, I think we're done with that one, so we can save that. So we're going to save that as QRY fourth quarter customers, and we're good. So hopefully you see that. So I put that group by, or I'm sorry, I put the total row in so that we only see that customer one time. And then we use the where to limit it, and then put that criteria in for the fourth quarter. Okay, let's look at the next one. Create a query based on table transaction and table product that calculates total sales volume for each product type during the fourth quarter of 2018. The query should calculate the total quantity of items sold by applying the sum aggregate function to the quantity field. Rename this field Q1 sales volume by type. Group the results by product type. Save it as. All right, so we can do that. So we're going to save that one as query 1 sales by type. actually, you know what? I think I'm going to stop the movie here because the next three queries all to go together and I won't have enough time to do all of them in this query. So I think I'm going to stop and pick up the next query on this step 6. All right, thanks guys.